everyone, today we are discussing the new topic and the name of the topic is cholinergic transmission. So before directly proceeding to the cholinergic transmission, we are going to discuss basic classification regarding the nervous system. Starting with the first, we have central nervous system and second is a peripheral nervous system. So in case of central nervous system, it contains the body part brain and spinal cord only, but on the other side we have whole body in case of peripheral nervous system. So if any type of an impulse generation occur inside the body, then it come under peripheral nervous system. Further, this peripheral nervous system is divided into two parts. The first is motor and second is sensory. So if we touch any heated object, then this information of heat is going to be transmitted by the body to the brain, and this work is done by the sensory nerve, and the response which is generated by the brain, it come under this motor nerve. So this motor nerve is further divided into two parts. We have somatic nervous system and second is autonomic nervous system. So in case of somatic nervous system, it is voluntary. There are some action of the body which we can control and which we can do according to our need. So this is a somatic nervous system. And in case of autonomic nervous system, it is an involuntary action. For example, we cannot control ourselves uh, for beating the heart. We cannot control the oxygen, inhaling of oxygen. So it come under the autonomic nervous system. This autonomic nervous system is further divided into two parts. The first is sympathetic nervous system and second is parasympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system include fight and flight response, and it contain adrenergic neurotransmitter, for example adrenaline, noradrenaline and dopamine. And on the other side, in case of parasympathetic nervous system, it is responsible for the proper maintenance and it contains cholinergic neurotransmitter, for example acetylcholine. So this is all regarding the nervous system. Now we're discussing the cholinergic transmission. So in case of cholinergic transmission, when ATP combine with acetate and coenzyme A, it will form acetyl coenzyme A in the presence of enzyme acetate activating reaction. This further acetyl coenzyme A combine with choline and give rise to the formation of acetylcholine chloride. And here is the structure of acetylcholine chloride. This reaction, in which the acetyl coenzyme A combined with choline is occur in the presence of enzyme choline acetyl transferase. Now we have a synthesis, a storage and the release of the cholinergic neurotransmitter. So there is a presence of a choline transporter in this area, and which is responsible to transport the sodium and choline. So once the sodium and choline enter inside the neuron, this is the structure of a neuron, and here we have nerve endings, and with this continuous series there is an attachment of another nerves or neurons, and the gap between the two neuron is known as synapse. So this is the an ending of the neuron. Once the sodium and choline enter inside the neuron, we have acetyl coenzyme A, which I discuss here, which is formed by the ATP, and we know that the ATP is a energy which is released by the mitochondria. So this after the formation of this acetyl coenzyme A, it combined with choline, and in the presence of choline acetyl transferase, here there is a formation of an acetylcholine which is further stored inside the vesicle, and the storage of this acetylcholine in the vesicle is done with the help of enzyme vesicle associated transporter. Further, this vesicle which contain acetylcholine is going to be attached with the nerve ending, and there is a proper linkage which occur between this released acetylcholine and the ending part of the neuron. And this side of the vesicle which contain acetylcholine is a vesicle associated membrane protein, and this side in which there is an ending of the neuron, it is SNAP, synaptosomes associated protein. So they both are the different, and the combination of this ending is done with the help of calcium. Further, when the acetylcholine is released from this neuron, either it will combine with another neuron and continue the process. But if there is a presence of the choline acetate, acetylcholine esterase, it will break down the acetylcholine and give rise to the formation of choline and acetate. Now we have some few drugs which are very basic and which are very important, which inhibit the synthesis of or the whole process of this acetylcholine. These drugs are, the firstly, this is blocked by hemicholinum. The second, this VAT, which is responsible for the storage of acetylcholine in the vesicle, is blocked by visaminocol. And at last, the basic drug which are responsible to prevent this linkage is botulinum toxin. So this is all regarding the synthesis, storage and the release of the acetylcholine. Now I already discussed that this acetylcholine is further enter into the another neuron and continue the process. But if it is so it is very important that if there is a presence of receptor here, then it will easily combine with them. So we have G protein coupled receptors, which are cholinergic receptors, which are of two types. The first is muscarinic receptors and second is nicotinic receptors. These receptors are present on the tip of the neuron so that acetylcholine easily recognize it and combine it. In case of muscarinic receptors, these receptors are present in a different part of the body. Muscarinic receptors show its presence in the heart, in the blood vessels, eyes, and some smooth vessels. Other than this, muscarinic receptors are also present in the other body parts. For example, gastrointestinal area, respiratory area, urinary tract, sweat gland, etc. This muscarinic receptor is further divided into three parts: M1, M2, and M3. And M1 shows its presence in the ganglion cell, enteric and central neurons. M2 shows its presence in cardiac smooth muscles, and M3 shows its presence in visceral and bronchial smooth muscles. So in same way, we have nicotinic receptors, and these nicotinic receptors are responsible for the basically these receptors are selectively activated by the nicotine, and these are blocked by the tubocurarine, and these receptors are blocked by the atropine. So nicotinic receptors are classified on the basis that they act in a different parts of the body: NM receptor and NN receptors. NM receptors are present in skeletal muscle and plate, and NN receptors are present in the spinal cord and brain. So this is all regarding some basic information of the cholinergic transmission, and with this continuous series we are going to discuss the cholinergic drugs in the next lecture.